Welcome to the Jeff Knows Inc. Entrepreneurial Podcast with your host, Jeff Lopes. Jeff has over 2 decades experience as a serial entrepreneur, building brands like Kimurawear from his home basement to a multi-million-dollar global brand that has sold over 250,000 pairs of boxing gloves. Jeff's here to educate, guide, and drive you on the process of bringing your ideas and dreams to reality with the inspiring stories from some of the top business minds.
Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone had a fantastic week. For those who took the time out of their busy schedules to give us a listen last week, I hope you enjoyed it first and foremost and were able to even take a little bit out of it to utilize towards your own company, your own business. That's primarily my goal every week, to help you become a little more educated as a young entrepreneur. This week's topic, I'm going to be going through branding, and I'll be going through my personal thoughts on why branding is so important to build a connection from your customers to you and also build that brand loyalty. I'll also be going through my top 10 essentials on building a strong brand. Branding could be the most important thing you do for your company. But when it comes to young entrepreneurs, and every time I talk to a young entrepreneur, I get the same feeling every single time where their mindset is simple. We have this great looking logo. We got a social media page. We have the website. We're ready to go. Yes, of course, that's going to take you off the starting point and get you going towards building a brand. But let's be honest, your logo, your colors, even your online presence is only such a small part of actually building a brand. There's so much more to building a brand that'll set you through the test of time. And that's my goal today, to educate you and try to make you understand how much more there is to building a brand and how much work there takes into building a brand. The first part of branding I'm going to be targeting today to you guys is brand identity. The first question I usually get is, what is actually brand identity? Easiest way I could actually describe to you guys is I like to think of it as almost elevator conversation. Just picture you step into an elevator, you're standing across from a complete stranger, and you got roughly maybe 10, 15 seconds to tell someone that knows nothing about your company, what is your brand and what could your brand offer to them. When you could actually find a way to sum up your company's entire promise, its vision, and what's in it for them in a few short, emotionally felt words, I could honestly say that's the moment you're going to actually find your brand. I'm going to give you guys a couple examples so you can somewhat more understand what I'm trying to explain to you guys. The first one is my personal brand, Kimurawear. Kimurawear is dedicated to constantly innovating the martial art and boxing and fitness industry by creating and forward-thinking active training and lifestyle products. These products are built to empower and inspire one to achieve one's true potential. Another Canadian brand that's completely dominated the yoga space over the last maybe 10, 15 years even, on a global scale, is Lululemon. And their identity is, as a design-led company, curiosity is at our core. We're constantly thinking about how we could innovate our process, our gear, and our social impact so we could elevate the world from mediocrity to greatness. I find a lot of small business owners feel branding is just a simple thing they could do later on when they got a little bit more time. I want everyone to take a moment and actually think about what you stand to gain by actually getting this done now and getting this done right. If I could get you guys to understand and build a strong brand from the get-go, it's honestly going to reshape your employees, your customers, your future investors, and most importantly, how you think of your own company. Think about this. A good brand could paint a clear picture. And if you're a company that has a clear picture, you're going to attract more buyers, more investors, and more loyalty from your customers, which is so important in a very competitive market. This past week, I sat back and I was just thinking about brands that have a strong brand identity, and they've built that strong brand identity through commercials. And one clicked right in my mind. Have you guys ever watched the Lincoln, I think they call the MXC commercials with, he's Academy Award winning actor, everybody knows who he is, Matthew McConaughey. Every time I've watched those commercials in the past on TV, somehow, I don't even know why, but they always somehow connected to me. And I never truly, I guess, understood why. So a few days back, I went onto YouTube and I rewatched all these commercials to kind of understand what the brand message truly was and the reason why it connected with me. When I did watch them again, I have to honestly say it felt like Lincoln was reaching back into my memory bank of some time gone by. And how many of us, I want you to think of this, how many of you that are, say, 35 to 55 years of age have buried almost feelings and thoughts about the Lincoln brand? Growing up, you saw these all over the road, these oversized Lincoln cars, and they reflected almost a sense of luxury and class. The brand message is trying to tap, I guess, into our psychology, reflecting on like associated feelings and thoughts and memories. And they accomplish this with almost a one-on-one conversation with McConaughey. The brand attempts to almost redefine who today's Lincoln man truly is. I feel like Lincoln's almost suggesting, like, to their potential buyers, a way on reflecting on where they came from and where they honestly want to go in the future. Lincoln's brand message is pretty simple when you actually think about it. But when you add McConaughey's almost his natural, like, he's got this deep down-to-earth tone in his voice. And when he's talking, he has this slight pauses and it senses a moment of reflection for him. This adds such an emotional connection that automatically connects you to the brand and makes you feel like you deserve that luxury. I will add a link at the bottom on the show notes for those who are not actually familiar with those commercials, just to take a look at them, get your own thoughts and impressions on them. I want to jump right into my top 10 essentials to building a stronger brand. Number one is creating brand identity. Even though I've gone through all these at the beginning of the podcast today, I just want to state this, to me personally, has to be the most important aspect you guys are going to come across when building your own brand. So I need you to figure out what exactly is your brand and what your brand could offer somebody by dipping into, I guess, their emotional connection to your products or to your services. Number two is having a purpose. By setting a purpose for your company, it's going to set a sense of direction to follow for your brand. One example is my own brand, Kimurawear. Our brand's purpose has always been to offer a high quality product at a very affordable price. By setting your purpose, this is going to help define you as a brand in a very, very competitive market. Number three is now focus on consistency. Now that your company is all set and you got a brand identity, you have a purpose, I need you to be consistent with these two messages now to your customers. Your goal with all your brand messages, you need to follow the same path. Consistency, it almost contributes to the brand's recognition, which grows customer loyalty and trust. I want you guys to think about this. The world's most valuable brand currently is Apple. Its brand value is roughly a little over $230 million. This is not the value of the company. This is not their annual sales. This is just the brand value. Now take a second and honestly think of Apple's branding. Every single ad, whether it's print, digital, to even the look of their products, their touch, all their platforms, everything is always consistent. Now that I got that in your minds, I want you guys to all take a moment and think of your own branding. Are you guys consistent? Have you ever added just think about this. Have you ever added an image to your social media platforms for your business and the photo honestly did not relate to your company? It was just something you found that was funny, but did you actually give a thought that by doing that, you're just confusing your audience? You need to be consistent on all platforms to avoid almost a detour from your brand identity and your purpose. Number four is be versatile. You have to understand that we live in almost a day and age that the market and your customers' needs and wants change every day. So yes, being consistent, where I keep pushing towards your brand identity and your purpose, is needed, but making the adjustments to your marketing, your creative ads, could build a lead to more customer interest and almost force a separation from you and your competition. A perfect example I could think of a company that has become very, very versatile in their marketing ads is a company that's passed the test of time, and it's Old Spice. I grew up, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well, thinking of Old Spice as something your dad or your grandpa would wear. As a company, their brand identity and purpose has not changed, but by being versatile in their ads and changing with the growing market, they now become a staple brand for pretty much all ages, which is incredible how they've been able to not lose their identity or purpose, but open their gateways, their doors to a new demographic. Number 5 is tap into your customers' emotions. If you could get your customers to emotionally connect to your brand or your products, they will easily recall in their memory bank your brand or your products the next time they're going to dip into their pocket to make a purchase. Now, your goal is to set almost a trigger and use this to set an emotional reaction through your marketing in a way. We live in a day and age where social media, blogs, everything's at our fingertips. Your goal is to create engaging content that's going to create almost an emotional connection to your customer, and also create a form of excitement around the brand and your products. And now that you understand that, I want you guys to use these platforms to make your viewing audience connect to these emotions in a way. As humans, we tend to usually need a sense of affection or almost a belonging to a group or be part of a movement. This need for that connection is what you're trying to, or you're attempting to find. Whether it's making them feel part of a family or offering something to make their life a little more simple. Remember, when a customer connects to your content on your site, it could be a blog or your social media, this interaction is going to stick with them. So next time they think about your product or your services, this emotional response will automatically return. Number 6 is be aware of your competition. In every industry, you're going to have competitors, and I'm a strong believer that competition is actually great for business. I'm going to challenge you to take your competition as almost a challenge to improve your own strategy in a way that you create greater value in your overall brand. You and your competition you guys are both in the same boat going after the same customers. So wouldn't it be smart on your part to be aware of them? So watch exactly what they're doing from time to time. I'm a strong believer that you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. And the times you do reinvent the wheel, fantastic. But sometimes a simple modification to somebody else's great idea to align with your brand is just as good. Number 7 is creating loyalty. Creating loyalty, honestly, guys, could be one of the hardest objectives to ever achieve as a business owner. But once you have achieved it, it might be one of the most rewarding for you guys. If you already have customers that love your products and truly are huge fans of your brand, then I would advise not to sit back. Show them gratitude and reward them always back. These customers could be almost your hidden gems. I even call them your brand ambassadors. These are the customers that have gone out of their way to write about you. They could have been telling their friends and family about your brand. Your goal is to grow this loyalty from these customers. Make sure it's early and make sure it's consistently. This will guarantee more returning customers, and in turn is going to be more of a return on profit for your business. If you're going to question, how do I do this? This, guys, could be as simple as just saying thank you. You could do a social media post or even putting a simple little thank you cards. You can get these pre-made, add them into every parcel or every package of an item sold. You could go even a little up and above and add a small gift, whether it's a branding t-shirt, some company swag. Another way to utilize social media, and something I'm jumped on in the last year or so, is constantly doing social media contest giveaways. Showing your loyalty to your customers and showing that you appreciate them is going to go a long, long way into building a sustainable brand. Number 8 is logo. Your logo is, honestly, guys, the first impression to potential customers, and you want to ensure it illustrates and matches your brand. I'm a strong believer in a simple look, a simple, clean logo that is easy for your customers to remember, and is also easy to transfer when it comes time to doing print or digital marketing. Your ultimate objective when it comes to your logo is creating a logo that stands the test of time when it comes to your brand and as your brand grows into different products or even a changing market. I want you to sit back and look at your logo and ask yourself, will this logo still work, say 2 years from now? So that is why I want to stress having a simple, clean logo that it could adapt to your growing business and your future goals is a complete necessity. Number 9 is company color palette. Your company color palette is defined on a digital side as RGB or CMYK. These colors also drive almost an instant feeling or reaction to your customers when they first see them. When you think of the color of love, first color that comes to most people's minds is red. Now I want you to think of environment or gardening. Next color that's going to come automatically to your mind is green. The power of how our mind almost perceives color is almost amazing. So you need to tap into that when you're creating your logo and your company palette. I want you guys to understand, given enough exposure, your company colors become part of your brand. So you want to select colors that will encourage your customers to associate these colors automatically to your brand when they see them. So I can't stress enough, being consistent through all your platforms with these color palettes is essential in growing your brand placement, especially in a competitive market. I will add a link to a quick little blog post I created on my website at the bottom of the show notes on the different branding colors and what they actually stand for to help you choose the correct company color palettes for your brand. My last part of my top 10 essentials to building a strong brand is number 10, target audience. If you've already started building your ad campaigns either through Google Ads, social media posts, this is all great. But have you actually taken the time to figure out exactly who you're trying to reach with these ads? My first objective for you is to study almost and learn who exactly you're trying to reach. And once you figure that out, what is their interest? Now you can easily distinguish which products would be more relevant to these individuals. And this is honestly going to help you create targeted ads for these customers directly. Social media is a great way to gather this information and is also a great way to, see the trends for this targeted demographic. Once you have your target audience, you're well on your way to turning these potential leads into long-term valuable customers. And your target demographic will change as your business grows and you start developing more products or more services. Your target demographic will also grow with your business. This is something that's constantly going to be changing as I state your business does grow. So always be aware of that when it comes to creating new marketing strategies and campaigns. That's a wrap for this week. I will be adding my 10 essential branding points at the bottom of the show notes for everyone's reference. I just want to take a moment to say thank you for listening. I hope you were able to take something out of this podcast that can be utilized towards your own business. If you enjoyed my podcast, please leave a positive review. 5 stars would be amazing and would be greatly appreciated. Please also remember, I love to hear from all my listeners. If you have any questions, concerns, or just want to talk business talk, all my contact info is on the show notes. Till next week, keep safe and always move forward.